Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to the first session of Saff-e-Suffah virtual. We'll be starting with O Level Islamiyat, but obviously you'll be seeing more videos of different subjects on this platform as well. But for the beginning, we'll be starting with O Level Islamiyat, and myself is Muhammad Akmal. I have been teaching O Level Islamiyat since last 7 to 8 years. So with that diversified experience, I am all here to guide you, to teach you more, and to be a part of your success in future. So let's begin. The first topic that we'll be discussing in this perspective would be a very important topic from your P1. So here is the first topic that we will be discussing, and that is compilation of Quran, a very important topic from P1, and it is part of the compulsory question, and it is there in P1. Interestingly, as you all know that Islamiat question of Islamiat is divided into two parts, part A and part B. So I'll be discussing the first part, 10 marks question, that is about the process of compilation, or how Quran was compiled during the last 1400 years. What were the different stages, what were the different phases, what were the different reasons why the Quran was compiled. So this is what I'll be discussing. That would cover your 10 mark question. But obviously with the best, where I feel the need, I'll be telling you and how the examiner have crafted or designed a 4 mark question. So I'll be giving you hints of 4 mark questions as well. So you need to be very mindful, you need to be very careful while listening to this lecture. But meanwhile, what you need to do is, why don't you start by subscribing the channel so we can grow more and we can help you more. Okay, ji, let's start with the topic that we have over here, and that is compilation of Quran. So when I am saying compilation, I am saying the process, stages and ages, or phases through which the Quran has been compiled into the form that we see today. But before we get into the question, I am giving you a Quranic reference that you can use in your answer to to solidify or to concrete your argument, and that is from Surah Hujurat, and that says, "Indeed, we over here means Allah. Indeed, it is we who sent down the Quran, and indeed we will be its guardians." So, this guardian term means that Allah has actually secured this thing, and Allah has already, it was in the plan of Allah that Quran has to be compiled so it does not get tempered, so it does not get misinterpreted, it does not get lost as the previous books have been. This is the reason that why the Quran has been compiled. You can very much refer this verse in when the question of why the compilation of Quran was necessary is asked to you, and it's a 4 mark question. I'm giving you the first 4 mark question over here, that why the compilation of Quran was necessary. So now let's move towards the process of compilation. Acha, I'm giving you a tip over here. Whenever there is a question of compilation, either it is about the compilation of Quran or either it is about the compilation of Hadith, you need to divide that into two phases. So whenever we have question of compilation, we will be dividing into two phases: in the life of Prophet and after the demise of Prophet. After the demise of Prophet. Okay, what happened in terms of compilation of Quran in the life of Prophet? In the life of Prophet, mostly Quran was in oral tradition. Be very mindful when I am saying that mostly the Quran was in oral tradition. That does not mean that there was not, even a single page of written Quran. It is not like that. Quran was being written in the times of Prophet, but it was not compiled. It was not in its complete form. Now examiner makes a 4 mark question from here as well and asks you that why you think that Quran was not compiled in the times of Prophet. So you can very well answer that question, that as the process of revelation of Quran was a continuous process, and the Quran was being revealed till the till the first and last Hajj that Prophet has performed. So it was impossible to compile Quran. So Quran was majorly existing at that time in oral tradition. And how in oral tradition? It was basically existing by the recitation in daily prayers that Prophet used to ensure companions used to follow Prophet and learn. Similarly, Qiyamul Layl. Now, what is Qiyamul Layl? Which we call as Travi. So Prophet used to recite the amount of revealed Quran every year in his Qiyamul Layl. So companion used to learn from there. Similarly, Prophet himself used to teach companions about the verses of Quran. So majorly Quran was existing in the oral tradition. There were people who had memorized the Quran. Quran was very much actively preserved in the memories of the followers. As well as scribes have also written down Quran over you may have read over leather pages, bonds. So yes, there was an existence of written Quran as well, but it was not compiled. Sorry, but it was not compiled. This is the first phase. Right after the death of Prophet, we have the second phase of the compilation of Quran, and that we need to study in depth. Moving towards that phase, but before we jump into that phase, we need to understand that we have to be very particular about the role of certain personalities in compilation of Quran, such as Hazrat Abu Bakr, role of Abu Bakr, role of Umar, role of Usman, Ali, role of Zaid bin Sabit, role of Huzaifa bin Yaman, and role of Hazrat Hafsa. So examiner can even portray this question to you by asking you very simply or very plainly that what were the role of any of the personality in the compilation of Quran. So you need to be very mindful. You have to be, you have to prepare your answer not only for the process but as well as for the role of these personalities. Don't be scared or don't be afraid that it is too much. It's basically the same question. You just need to learn certain things through different perspectives and point of view, and that is why I am over here. Let's start how it all started. So after the demise of Prophet, we are talking about the second age, that is after the demise of Prophet. Now, what happened after the demise of Prophet? There was an emergence of false prophet, and one of those false prophets was Musaylama Kazzab. Musalma claimed his false prophethood in the times of our Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, but it was the last days of Holy Prophet, so Prophet couldn't take any action against him. In the times of Hazrat Abu Bakr, he gained maximum of his support and he gathered a huge following around him, and he was causing disturbance and he was causing lawlessness in Islamic empire. That you will be studying in the times of Hazrat Bakr, when we'll be studying Hazrat Bakr as a caliph. So we'll be discussing these things more in detail. But Hazrat Bakr had to sent a campaign against him, and that military campaign is known as Battle of Yamama. Yamama is the name where this battle has been fought against Musaylama Kazab. Why we are discussing this battle is because in this battle, many of those who have memorized Quran, or in other words, many Hufaz of the Quran, received martyrdom and they were killed in this battle. So it was a heavy loss, and Hazrat Umar realized. Now comes the role of Hazrat Umar. So Hazrat Umar realized that we need to compile Quran, because if we are not going to compile Quran, chances are the people who have memorized the Quran, they have to certainly die. Either they would be dying in battles or natural deaths, but eventually they would die. So chances of the preservation of Quran would become more scarce, would become more limited. So it's better that we compile the Quran. We should have an authentic copy of Quran. That was the idea of Hazrat Umar. Hazrat Umar. When Hazrat Umar presented this idea to Hazrat Bakr, okay, be mindful, we are over here discussing the era of times of Hazrat Abu Bakr. In the times of Hazrat Abu Bakr, when he is the Caliph, Hazrat Umar suggested to compile Quran, and when Hazrat Umar suggested to compile Quran, Hazrat Abu Bakr initially denied. This is very important to know that Hazrat Abu Bakr denied the idea of Umar. Why do you think Hazrat Abu Bakr denied his idea? Because Hazrat Abu Bakr, let me answer the question. Because Hazrat Abu Bakr was of the view that I am not going to do anything that Prophet has not done in his life. So, being the first Caliph of Islam, I need to stick with the Sunnat or with the methodology of Prophet very strongly, very passionately. So, I am not going to do anything that the Prophet has not done. Again, with the consultation of senior companions, Majlis Shura, Hazrat Umar somehow managed to convince Hazrat Abu Bakr that yes, he needs to compile Quran. When Hazrat Abu Bakr agreed with the idea that he needs to compile Quran, he handed over this responsibility to Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit. Who was Zaid bin Sabit? Zaid bin Sabit was one of the chief scribe of the Prophet. He used to write Quran on behalf of Prophet, and he was a very learned and very well renowned when it comes to the teachings of Quran, when it comes to the learnings of Quran. So he was considered as an expert of Quran. So Hazrat Abu Bakr appointed Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit. Okay, point to remember over here is don't confuse Zaid bin Sabit with Zaid bin Haris. Zaid bin Haris was the adopted son of Prophet. We are here talking about Zaid bin Sabit, that was made to made the head of the committee that was to compile Quran. What Zaid did is Zaid sent his word to all over the Medina that whosoever have the written piece or written chunk of the Quran, bring it to the committee. And Zaid established two checks. The first check was that every verse or every written piece or everything that has been written or every chunk of the Quran that is being brought must have, so every verse brought must have two witnesses. So whosoever is bringing the verse and whosoever is claiming that okay fine I have this verse, he should bring two witnesses with him that when the verse was revealed, Prophet has asked that person to write it down, or that person should have at least two witnesses to testify that this verse has been revealed. And secondly, the memory of the committee that has been assigned under the leadership of Hazrat Zaid bin Sabit to compile Quran. By following this process, ultimately Quran was compiled in the form of a book, and that is known as Mushaf. That Mushaf was given to Hazrat Abu Bakr. Sorry for the spelling. That Musaf has been given to Abu Bakr. From Abu Bakr, this Musaf, after the death of Hazrat Abu Bakr, this Musaf have gone to Hazrat Umar, who actually gave the idea of compilation of Quran. From Hazrat Umar, it went to the daughter of Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Hafsa. Then came the time of Hazrat Usman, interestingly. So now in the times of Hazrat Usman, when Usman was the third Caliph of Usman, what happened in the time of Hazrat Usman is that Islamic empire expanded beyond the regions of Arab. Actually, it started in the times of Hazrat Umar, but in the times of Hazrat Usman, it even reached till the boundaries of South Asia. Uh, One of such campaign was the campaign of Azerbaijan that was being led by Hazrat Huzaifa bin Yaman. So Huzaifa bin Yaman, when he was returning from Azerbaijan, he noticed one thing, that people who are non-Arab, they are reciting Quran in different dialects. Problem with the Arabic language is that whenever we change the dialect or whenever we change the basic pronunciation, it changes the meaning of Quran. So Huzaifa noticed that these people are reciting Quran in different accent, causing different versions of the Quran. So it was the point when it could have lost the real meaning of Quran. So Huzaifa reported this thing to Hazrat Usman, and he said that quick, help the Muslims before they differ about their texts, like the Jews and Christians differed about their scriptures. So to respond this problem, so Huzaifa bin Yaman noticed this thing and he reported this thing to Hazrat Usman. So to respond this problem, Hazrat Usman again appointed Zaid bin Sabit. But this time, Zaid bin Sabit was asked to make copies of the Musaf-e Hafsa, the real text. And Zaid bin Sabit made the copies of the real text, and those copies were sent all across the Islamic empire. But Hazrat Usman, to avoid different recitations of the Quran or different dialects of the Quran, he gathered and he made the dialect of Quraysh as the standard dialect, because this was the dialect in which Quran was revealed. So he made this dialect as a standard dialect of Quran. That is why his age or his step is also known as standardization of Quran. Standardization of Quran. Or in Arabic, he is also known as uh, Jame-ul Quran. Jame-ul Quran means he has gathered whole Muslim community on a single recitation of Quran. And then when it came to the times of Hazrat Ali has appointed one of his linguist and one of his grammarian to you know uh, to allot different vowels and dots for the easier recitation to non-Arab community as well. So this was the whole process of compilation of Quran. I hope you have understood the topic very well. Still, if you have any question and ambiguity, you can ask in the comment section. I would again request you all to subscribe the channel so we can grow more and more and we can help you more and more. And let's be together in the journey that you guys have to do. Good luck. Thank you.